Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 Mods Weekly. Yeah, this series is still going strong, lots of episodes to come, and we're already super deep into it, so we might as well jump right in. We have a big variety of mods today, not a ton in the way of weapon releases, but a lot of cool, unique, different mods that you're not used to seeing, and some utility ones as well, so definitely some cool ones to keep an eye out for that will improve your game. So let's just go ahead and jump in with the first mod. So the first mod we're going to be checking out is All-Nighter Caffeine Pills by Bludwolf. This adds new caffeine pill aid items into the game, which doesn't seem like a lot at first, but this has a great utility in survival mode. Along with that, it comes with its own custom model and texture, and a pretty funny one, and we'll read into that a little bit later. So like I said, this is a very helpful tool in survival mode. If we head over to my stats, we can see that my character is overtired. Now, these are caffeine pills, so rather than needing to find a bed to go sleep somewhere, we can instead just grab an all-nighter pill, which not only helps with our sleep status, it also increases our action point recovery rate and gives us an additional endurance and agility for a temporary amount of time. So we'll go ahead and take one of those. We feel the caffeine in our veins, an effect just like you would get from Nuka-Cola. And if we go check our status, now we are just tired instead of overtired. Now, one thing that is important to note is that this item will dehydrate you. So if you continue to take it over and over again, and we head to our status, you'll see that we are severely dehydrated. So not something you want to overuse. Now, as for the art on these pill bottles, these things are incredible. As you can see, we have the All-Nighter Caffeine Pills. Contains 48 capsules by Blood Labs, now with 22% extra caffeine. Pretty standard, but wait until you see some of the information on the back of this bottle. Here we have the suggested use tab, where it says "Sleep is for unproductive communists" by George Washington. Suggested use: adults take 3 capsules daily prior to intensive physical activity or bedtime. Children from ages 8 or over may take from 1 to 2 capsules. Keep out of the reach of children and communists. Do not use if safety seal is damaged or missing. Store in a cool, dry place. Do not mix with alcohol or other substances. Certified, and a little checkbox that just says something, lol. Made in the USA. Then we also get a tab with supplement info that says serving size 3 capsules, amount per serving is caffeine 400 milligrams, cocaine 17 milligrams, sugar 13, and quantum A09 4 milligrams. Warning, prolonged use of this product may cause severe addiction with side effects. Symptoms of withdrawal include headaches, fatigue, weakness, and possible erectile dysfunction. If symptoms persist, seek medical help. Honestly, this mod was already cool. It's a neat little utility aid item, but having all of that comedic stuff on the little slip around the pill bottle is just awesome, and it fits Fallout so well. Everything on there feels like it fits perfectly in the universe, anti-communist, and just really out of left field. I really like this one. Super funny, super cool, and just a nice little helpful tool for your survival game. Next up, we have the 9-iron golf club weapon by FlareScale. Now, this is one that we actually did a standalone video on, covering the brand new 9-iron melee weapon in Fallout 4. Now, golf clubs aren't exactly new to Fallout. They've already appeared in games like New Vegas as well as Fallout 76. New Vegas even embraced them so much that it had a unique weapon, the driver Nepheed golf club, as well as an achievement for killing Mr. House with a golf club. So definitely something to embrace in the Fallout universe, and now we can do so in Fallout 4. It may seem like a simple mod, but I love diversity in my games, and that especially applies to weapons. And a category of Fallout 4 that I feel is very underutilized is melee weapon variety. We do have some older mods like MCAM, which adds a ton of weapons, but that one really focuses on knives and bladed weapons, along with a few miscellaneous weapons here and there. But this mod adds a very well done improvised melee weapon, which is the golf club. There'd be plenty of these laying around in people's homes, especially in a Fallout type environment. Areas like Sanctuary, I'm sure there's people there that would play golf, and having this as a weapon that raiders could end up using, it just makes sense. It's like a baseball bat. It's a sports weapon that just people would find. It would be utilized as a blunt object to defend yourself or to target traders on trade routes. Definitely a versatile weapon, fits in the lore perfectly as it is just a weapon used in a sport, and more than anything, it just makes sense, and that wins a lot of points in my book. Definitely a great one by FlareScale. Always love to add some more melee weapon variety into my game, as raiders are basically your main opponent, and a lot of them come at you with melee weapons, so you might as well not see the same thing over and over. So, you ever get bored of the vanilla weapon racks in Fallout 4? Just sitting there on the wall looking so generic? then I suggest you really check out Weapon Wall Racks by JK Ruse 05. This is going to add some new ways to mount your weapons to walls that just look a little bit more believable. There are a variety of weapon racks included in this mod for all of your rifle, pistol, and even melee weapon needs. Not just that, but there's even multiple styles for you to choose from to really fit whatever build you're going for. So let's just jump right into the menu and see what exactly there is to offer. So as you can see here, we have a handful of different weapon racks. These ones here are separated by some metal beams. We have some individual racks, one for a rifle, the pistol, and the melee weapon, as well as some really big racks for our bigger weapons that maybe have a drum magazine that wouldn't fit in a smaller weapon rack. So let's go ahead and see how exactly we do all of this. Once you head into the settlement build menu, you're going to move over to decorations and display, all the way over to the new weapon wall racks. From there, we have a bunch of cool new stuff. Here we have the metal rifle clamp medium spacing, the metal rifle clamp narrow spacing, and wide spacing. All of these are the exact same clamp, they just change how far apart the weapons are. Then we have the pistol melee clamp. This is going to be able to attach pistols as well as melee weapons, and this also has snapping points so you can have them nice and evenly spaced. Then we have the wood rifle rack, also in narrow and wide spacing, except this one actually changes the model itself, not just how far apart the snap points are. And then we have the dividers. Here we can see some metal dividers that you can throw between each rack, or wood dividers, which you can throw on the ends to make some really cool looking racks. And you can put these between however you'd like. And the way these function are similar to other weapon rack mods. You just walk up to it, transfer, and then throw in whatever weapon you'd like. Let's say this hunting rifle. And there it is. Now, this one doesn't have a stock, so obviously it doesn't attach at the bottom, but that's pretty much how it works, and just about every weapon snaps in pretty well. This mod is truly a must-have for anybody who likes to deck out their settlements with all of the weapons they've collected, especially if you're a collector like myself. You get all these cool unique weapons, you want to put them up on display. There's already mods like the Better Armory mod, but this adds something that snaps to walls specifically. Combining the two, I think, is the best idea you can do, along with any other weapon rack mods that you enjoy. Now, the next mod we're taking a look at is something horrifying. And for some of you, that may be a bad thing, but for most of you, I think it's going to be pretty good. We're checking out the FallEvil Liquor mod by Sectan34756. This adds a brand new enemy into Fallout 4, and one that I think could be reasoned to fit pretty well in the lore. Now, the Liquor enemy itself actually comes from Resident Evil. That being said, the Resident Evil enemies are mostly developed from a virus, and the Fallout franchise has definitely messed with that before with the FEV, the Forced Evolutionary Virus. So, in your own personal headcanon, you could definitely argue that this new Liquor enemy could have come from the FEV. But that's really up to you. At its core, this is just a wonderful new creature mod that adds some really horrifying creatures into the game. There is a regular Liquor as well as a glowing variant, which is really cool. I personally really like the way the glowing variant looks, and it does help to cement its place in the Fallout lore, especially Fallout 4, which has the glowing enemies. This thing is fully VATS compatible, does feature some dismemberment, and even has leveledless integration. You can find these things standalone or download some optional files to have them replace the Scorpion spawn. It's really up to you, depending on how often you want to see these guys. Now, while this mod is released, I do believe the author is going to continue updating and working on this mod, as well as adding new features. For example, right now the enemy only drops ammo when killed, but I believe the author said they're going to work on some standalone items that are unique to this mod, like meat or some other kind of item to find on the Liquor enemy, which is cool. Helps add a nice unique touch to the enemy that is very much appreciated. Definitely cool to see this author continuing to work on Resident Evil enemies, and I really look forward to their work in the future. Now, one thing I want to mention is, as of recording this mod has actually recently been set to hidden. The author is working out some bugs, and hopefully it will be re-released soon. So, just something to keep in mind. Whenever you're watching this, you may not be able to download it immediately, but hopefully it'll be back on the Nexus soon enough with some bug fixes and improvements. And our last mod for this week is going to be the Proton Axe by shoothemoon. Now, the Proton Axe is a very familiar weapon from the Fallout New Vegas Old World Blues DLC. And this is a very faithful recreation. This looks really good in Fallout 4 and honestly just makes perfect sense. Another really cool melee weapon to have in your game, and a 100% lore-friendly one. Now, when you pick up the Proton Axe, the base stats are going to be 30 for damage. It's going to have a large stagger effect, a fast swing speed, and it also does 50% more damage to robots. Now, the thing about this Proton Axe mod is it is not added to the level list, it is actually unique. If you want to pick this thing up, you're going to need to head to the Federal Supply Cache 84NE. You're going to have to get past an expert lock terminal, but once that's done, you can grab the weapon and it is yours. But like I said, it is unique and one of a kind, so don't lose this thing. Now, if you are running a melee build, then this is going to be your answer to robots. That plus 50% damage to robots, you don't need to worry about a legendary roll. This one just has it built in, so this is a very useful tool, especially if you're running through the Automatron DLC. But even if you're not playing a melee build, if you're a fan of the Fallout series, and I know many of you guys are a fan of the Old World Blues DLC in particular, this is definitely a mod you're going to want to pick up. Having more weapons from past Fallout games is always a huge plus for me, and the fact that this came out in the middle of the week was a nice surprise indeed. So definitely a cool mod to grab, especially if you like all of the classic Fallout weapons and you want to add even more to your modded arsenal. And with that, we bring this video to a close. Lots of really cool mods this week, a lot of variety. Any mods that help spice up the life of Fallout 4 is a plus in my book, so definitely some really cool ones. And if you want to try any of them yourself, there will be links down in the description as always. And don't forget to go out there and support the mod authors. If you enjoyed any of these mods, endorse them. And consider donating if that's something you're able to do. But most importantly, just show your appreciation for all of their hard work. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a rating. Subscribe for more videos just like this, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace! And hey, shout out to all of our patrons for their continued support. As always, your donations are greatly appreciated and help to fund videos just like this one. So again, thank you.